What better way to listen to the Stay Woke podcast than listen to it wearing a Stay Woke or Wokest t-shirt from royaltshop.bigcartel.com. My personal favorite is the red and white one. So head over to royaltshop.bigcartel.com to get one today. Again, that's royaltshop.bigcartel.com.
You're now tuned into the hottest podcast in the world, the Stay Woke podcast, right here on the sonicbreakdown.com.
Man, it's time to wake up. Get this cake up. Only thing I
Welcome
care
back to
about
another
is
Stay
switching.
Woke podcast. And the Stay Woke podcast is presented by thesonicbreakdown.com. So definitely head over and check out our articles or reviews. Also, we definitely appreciate everybody giving reviews. If you can give us a 5-star review on iTunes, we definitely appreciate that. And don't forget, you also can check us out on YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So head over there and check us out on those platforms as well. But today, let's get right into it. Today's episode is going to be, of course, I had to bring your boy Trav on for another episode. We're going to talk about Styles P Ghost album that recently came out, as well as Royce the 5'9's Book of Ryan. So we're going to check out both of those projects. Let's get right into it. Let's start out with, I know this is one that more resonated with you. And let's start with Styles P's Ghost.
Yes, indeed.
So I didn't even know that I didn't know that he was coming out with a project at this time. I heard that he was coming out with a project, but I didn't think it was going to be, I thought it was going to be later in the year, personally. What about you?
It was a little, no, it wasn't very much promotion on it. I did know, but it was probably like a week or two in advance prior to the album dropping. But I knew it was coming out, and I knew that I was going to get what I got.
Yeah, he definitely didn't disappoint. Let's just start from the beginning. What were some of your favorite tracks from the project?
Morning, Going Through Hell. I ain't going front. I like the whole album. I rolled through the whole album, but those two tracks kind of like had some lyricism in it that I appreciated a great deal. Those two tracks, but the whole album, let me have to just ride through the whole album. So I didn't have to skip one track.
For me, I would say the same thing. Morning. That's really one that stands out. And then Windows to the Soul also stood out to me as well.
Oh yeah, I'm bugging.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of my favorites. I'm super bugging. I didn't say that. Yes, that's definitely one of my favorites as well. But like I said, I like the whole album. But yeah. Well, Windows to the Soul probably my favorite track.
And in comparison, how do you feel about this album in comparison to other Styles P's work?
Well, the other one is G-Host. He's back in his G-Host mode. That's why he did the album G-Host. He's back in it. The production and the subject matter, he's back in his own. Like before, he was just kind of like balancing it out with other projects. Like his last solo album was a little different than this one. But he's back on his beast mode, G-Host, lyrical, hardcore, but then also throwing some spiritual jewels inside of it as well. When he get in that mode, man, you're going to get the best work from him. And lyrically, he definitely showed up. Absolutely.
For me, again, out of the two projects that we're reviewing and discussing today, Book of Ryan resonated with me more than G-Host or Ghost. What about this album resonated with you so much?
It's not that it didn't resonate with me. I like Royce, man. Royce is definitely a talented lyrical dude. I just think this time around, some of the songs something a bit more like a conversation than lyrics. I mean, the delivery him out to be, he was just kind of like talking some of the songs. I wasn't really connecting with the way he was delivering his lyrics this time around. But the lyrics are definitely there, and the production is definitely there. I just felt like the way he delivered with some of these songs this time wasn't really kind of like up to my speed. But Royce is definitely one of the top lyricists. I definitely appreciate the album because it was a personal album. It was a little bit more personal. It was a little bit more open with things that went on in the life. This album, I like it. It's just that I kind of like the Styles P album just a bit more. Definitely the production and the delivery.
Okay.
Absolutely. I put my zone listening to Styles P. I didn't have to skip one track. It was straight up. It was a straight ride thing. Like every time I put the album on, I just ride it the whole thing through. I don't have to skip anything. You know what I mean? I can't do that with Royce's new album, but I can definitely do that with Styles. And so the production, the delivery, the lyricism, and and of course just the Florida album.
Is there any particular theme that he talks about in on Styles' album that really kind of stuck with you, and like or a line that kind of you can't really get out your mind?
Yeah, that we pray for the wrong thing. That one was kind of deep. Cats is praying for coke connects instead of a better life for the sell coke. You know what I mean? You praying God for Pablo Escobar connect instead of praying to God to find a way for some happiness or some kind of fulfillment. So you don't have to sell coke. Like, I'm just using that as an example. It didn't actually say it. They actually said things of that nature, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a few things, man. It's a few things you gotta. That was one of them.
Yeah, definitely the tone. Especially like for me, the going back to Windows to the Soul, that particular track, I just felt like he really expressed so much emotion and so much. I want to say frustration, but it's more than just frustration. So I just, to me, that track really kind of, I guess, resonated with me the most lyrically and just on the emotional tone.
Yeah, he showed emotion. He showed that he was spiritually woke in that song.
Mm-hmm.
He's conscious. He's in tune with the Most High. That's why I like that song a lot too. That's one of my favorite tracks. Then Going Through Hell, another track, the closing track. You can see that the production that I believe Graham Jones did that, and he switched the beat up twice. It was like a two. I love when Styles go on a beat like that. He did that with Alchemist a few times.
Mm-hmm.
When the beat switches up, there's one track, but the beat switches up, and he just kills both sides, like him, like his, him going against himself. You know what I mean? Like two different styles in one, just going back and forth with himself on two different beats. The yin and the yang, the dark and the light. You know what I mean? The switch up, positive and negative.
Keep that balance.
So he did that. That balance. He did that on that joint. So what I mean, like I said, man, I was just sitting with it. It was just a few more interesting things going on with the Styles album than Royce's. I love Royce, man. He's definitely one of the great lyricists of the game.
What did you think about the features on Styles' album?
He kept it light, you know what I mean? As usual. You know what I mean? A couple of local cats that he deal with.
Did any of the features stand out to you in particular?
Not really. I was really focused on Styles.
Gotcha.
It was cool. I mean, I have a problem with the features. Just I wasn't. It didn't stand out like it was a mega like feature that I'm gonna remember.
Gotcha.
I kind of forgot it was featured. I was too much focused on Styles joints, and I forgot when he was even on it.
Nino Man and Dice Payne. Dice Payne is featured pretty heavily on this album.
Oh yeah. That dude's good. Nino Man is definitely on the come up. We got a lot of tracks with Jada Kids.
Yeah.
A lot of tracks with kids. That dude is nice. Man, he's from Harlem. Nino Man, he definitely carried on the torch. The lyricism from New York City. You know what I mean? From Harlem on the come up. He's gonna be putting around with guys like Dave East, Jewel, Sprado. He fits definitely in that lane. I'm definitely in tune with Nino Man. It's just I was more focused on Styles and what he was saying. But Nino Man is definitely on the come up. And he's definitely one to pay attention to. as talent coming from New York City.
Yeah, the first time I heard Nino Man was on Sway in the Morning a couple of years ago. I want to say maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, and he was going in. So when I saw the feature of Nino Man on here, not being on the East Coast, we don't get as much info or hear that much in regards to him as
Right.
as you guys would. So I was again pleasantly surprised to see him on this featured on this album. Similar to you, there was no feature that really kind of stuck out and was like, oh, I have to go back to that track specifically to hear that line. I think this is a really good project. There are a couple of tracks that I do kind of skip because it just doesn't hit with me. But overall, I think it is a good project. For me, the Royce da 5'9", the personal aspect of it really stood out to me just a little bit more. So I kind of want to transition into talking about that Royce da 5'9" album. So Royce da 5'9" came out with the album called The Book of Ryan, and as you mentioned, it is very personal. It's very introspective. Right. It's really it feels like you are getting a peek behind his life. That's how detailed and personal it is, especially as you get through to the later tracks. Protecting Ryan, Strong Friend. That last kind of quarter of the album, it gets heavy. And so I do agree with you in that regard of there are tracks that are so personal heavy that you can't just put this on and play. You know?
I mean, that was the problem. None of the subject matter was a problem. That was definitely not a problem. I actually enjoyed the subject matter. I enjoyed that it was a personal album. That he was getting into, letting more information about himself and his family and his brother and his relationship with his father and things of that nature. It was just that some of the way he delivered the lyricism.
No,
it sounded like some, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, and for me, it worked, and I can see why it wouldn't work for you because that's kind of the same issue that I had with Logic's Everybody album. There was parts of the tracks where I was like, I don't have a problem with his subject matter. It just felt like I didn't want him to talk. I'd rather him find some other way to deliver it that made, because for me, it took me out of the music. It took me out of the sonic properties of the music and made me just listening to him talk. So I definitely can relate and understand how you're feeling about that. But for me, on this particular album with the Book of Ryan, I didn't feel that way, and I feel that way because with these stories, even though he was talking about it, the way he was talking about it wasn't, the tone was different. When Logic was talking about it, is as if he's speaking to us, where the way that I feel Royce did it in this particular project was he's not talking to us, he's talking to himself. He's talking to himself and breaking down the story to himself to kind of get a better understanding of it, of why his brother was doing the things he was doing. Why, because in the moment, you're like, man, this dude's being a fucking asshole. Like, chill out, nigga. Like, damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like, we don't have to go, you ain't got to go fight everybody. But on that level of reflection, he's going, this is what happened. Oh, but this is why he did it.
Right.
And so that's why for me, it just felt a little bit different. But again, like I said, I definitely can understand how it came off and how it felt with you because that's exactly how I felt about that Logic project. I really enjoyed the project. I really enjoyed the songs where that was in. But it was like, man, just find another way of delivering it. Make it a bar, you know.
Right. That's all. Yeah,
so I definitely get where you're coming from for that. But for me, for me, because of it felt more of a reflection than him kind of preaching or talking to us. I internalized it differently. It felt more like a therapy session where Logic was, to me, it felt like he was just telling us a story.
Right.
So, and for this one, there was several standout tracks for me of features. And one of those features, of course, we got to go to Caterpillar with Eminem.
Jeez.
Even though, for me, that track really doesn't fit the album to me.
No, it's a different sound. Definitely, absolutely a different sound. Definitely a different sound from the album.
Yeah.
But it was a good track, man. I mean, the last time we really heard from Eminem, we weren't really impressed. I know I wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed by that album.
You know,
I wasn't impressed by that album at all.
I think me and you guys, we was in touch with each other during the time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we wasn't really trying to like even build on that. You know what I mean? It just wasn't, you know. So to hear Eminem get his bag lyrically over a beat like that, it was good to hear. But like, as far as like sounding of the album and the rest of the tracks, definitely didn't fit. But it was a great track. They should have just did this like a little release.
Yeah, exactly.
I was shit.
I was just about to say that they should have just did this as a one-off, or even at the least, for me, they should have put this on as a bonus track. If you wanted, like, if you want to keep it on this album, I would have put it as a bonus track. But I really think it should have been just separate. It just should have been, you know, something that they, you know, just threw out there to give people like what we want. We wanted to hear them together. The collaboration between them two was great. It just wasn't fitting for this album.
No, it wasn't. This wasn't. So like when we lose, it didn't fit. That's all.
Yeah, the only loose. Yeah, it is a very good track. The loose tie-in to the rest of the album is the idea of the caterpillar of transforming, metamorphosizing, evolving. Because that's kind of what this album is to me, is Royce looking at his life and analyzing it to determine how he should approach relationships with people in his life, and basically how to transform and be and evolve and be a better person, because you understand why you did what you did and why other people did what they did, and then that gives you better understanding of how to work and approach and be around these people and give what you want to give. Because a lot of times we all have we tend to have good intentions to do things, but if that other person doesn't know what your intentions are, they might misinterpret the route at which you went about doing it. And similar to like I was talking how he brings up about his brother. His brother has good intentions. His intentions is, I want to protect us. I want to protect our family. I want to protect my brothers. I want to protect my mother from a father figure who he sees is abusive or overbearing in other respects. That's great. You know, that's great to have to want to protect your family. But if you're going about it in the route of, I'm going to fight everybody, which gets you locked up, or which can then have a negative effect on your family, because if you're trying to fight everybody and you're that angry dude, when people want to get mad at him, they're going to go after the family. It's the hero complex. How do the villains get the hero? They go after the people they love.
Right.
So it's that idea. Exactly. So it's that idea of, he has good intentions of wanting to be that positive role model and protector, but he's just going about it all wrong. So I just thought that was really interesting. I thought the whole family dynamic was interesting, how he laid it out and just kind of put his heart on his sleeve. And I thought that was also very important to making this album as cohesive as it was. And he tackles so many issues that I also think it's accredited to him as well, because there's so many issues that are hard to address. Mental health, family dynamics, addiction, anger management. All of those topics are thrown in throughout here. But another great feature to me was the Bubble a Boat with J. Cole. The production in there is smooth. Yeah. It's so smooth. J. Cole and Royce, the way that counteract each other. I didn't expect that when I first saw the title and I saw that J. Cole was going to be that feature. I figured it would be a good track, but I didn't think they would blend as well as they did, which was a surprise to me. What did you think about that track?
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought when I saw Cole's name was just going to be like he was going through like a hook or something, because J. Cole good for that sometimes. You know,
yep.
Like a J. Cole feature, and then you turn the track on and he's just doing a hook or some shit.
Yep.
But now he, you know what I mean? Because now he does that shit. Especially with other like big A-list MCs like Royce. You know, he would do some shit like that. Like, you see the feature and he'll just be doing a hook.
Yeah.
And then the MC would be going in. Now it's definitely a good song. I absolutely enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Lyricism. I have to stress that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what when I saw the title, and that's what I was hoping to get. But I did keep in mind that maybe it was just be on the hook. But no, you know what I mean? They went in and they did their thing.
Yeah,
Both of them.
Yeah, a full verse.
Well,
The other track that I really enjoyed, based on the features, was "Outside" with Marsha Ambrosius and Robert Glasper.
oh yeah, that was hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
I think, I mean,
Yeah.
Marsha, her voice is beautiful already.
Yes.
She just has a beautiful, and something about Marsha with introspective lyrical rappers goes so well together. The track that she did with Kendrick for the Dr. Dre album, "For the Love of Money," it just has a great, just something about her voice really works well with lyrical rappers because they know how to pick nice production, jazz-centered production usually as well, and I think that's why it works so well. And I really enjoy Robert Glasper's work. For those out there that aren't familiar with Robert Glasper, he's a classically trained jazz pianist. Has Black Radio 1 and 2. He has Robert Glasper covers. He did a recent project with Ketaranda that's really great as well. And then he did kind of a play on Miles Davis's music. He's a really talented a guy, a really talented artist. I definitely say you should check that out. And this track really was well done, in my opinion. And the track that was surprising to me, especially the features, was the Pusha T, Jadakiss, Fabulous "Summer on Lock."
Yeah, that was
just
yeah. See, that's one thing Royce does. He did that before, man. He does that kind of shit, man. You'll be shocked the way he put a feature together. You know what I mean? Like that. That's like that would be a big deal for radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the radio doesn't play the shit. It's the shit that kills me over here. You know what I mean? About shit like that. Like that's one of the radio joints. Even though it doesn't sound super commercial, you know what I mean? But that's the fact that those guys are all on one track together and it's hard and everybody's going in, and it should be a radio joint. That's a joint that should have got light on the radio.
Yeah, definitely.
He did that before. I think on his last solo album, he had like a Rick Ross.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few cats on this one track. I forgot the name of the track, but it was dope, just like this one was. And but he does that shit. He sneaks in like a track that got big names on it. You know what I mean? And that's like, yeah, that was a gem right there. That was a shocker. He does that type of shit. That's Roy shit right there.
Yeah,
that's how he moves.
The reason for me that I wasn't expecting that is just because of when you're listening to the album from beginning to end, outside of Caterpillar, you get this personal vibe. And then when you get to Summer on Lock, it still fits because when you hear what they're talking about, that concept of Summer on Lock, it fits into what follows it of, later on protecting Ryan, strong friends and that scene of them at the basketball court. Because I know what I did when I was younger on the summers. It was, you got to be outside. Mom's like, no, you be outside until the street lights come on. When the street lights come on, that's when you bring your ass inside. That's how my mom would have told us. Like, you're not gonna stay inside watching TV all day. No, you're gonna be outside.
Yeah, well, yeah, they ain't doing. Yeah, we wasn't doing that.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the feel that I got from that Summer on Lock, is that feeling of when I was young, like when you outside playing in the park. It actually reminded me of the summers that I spent in when I lived in Boston. Playing basketball, summer outside, you walking outside, even though it's summer, you still walking outside in your Timbs, down the street, it's warm outside, you feel that the humidity, so everybody's wearing either tank tops or t-shirts on, whatever, and you just feel that vibe, that energy, that summer energy. And so that Summer on Lock kind of encapsulated that feeling, and then, which kind of gave it a high note kind of feeling. And then you get to, the protecting Ryan skit, which kind of brings you back down to earth. Like, oh, yeah, this is a darker kind of album in themes. So I thought that was interesting as well. The other thing I do want to mention is, what did you think about the Caterpillar remix with Logic and King Green?
I wasn't really feeling.
Yeah, me too. And I like Logic. And I like Logic. And I was like, eh.
Yeah,
I was just waiting, and the way that they did the beat, you kind of feel like you're gonna get something. You're waiting for this like this bar to come, like this line, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and then it never comes. So especially to me when you went from the Caterpillar, like if you're gonna go Caterpillar with Eminem and Royce, the remix has to top the initial one, and this one didn't.
yeah. Word. Now I definitely wasn't hitting like that.
So,
I was definitely not impressed.
yeah. So kind of to kind of wrap things up here. For me, like I said, I really enjoyed Royce the 5'9's project, Book of Ryan. I thought it was very personal, and it just felt so well crafted. And he paid attention to every single line, every single word was very scrutinized, it seems like. Just also going back real quick, I feel like I have to touch on the track Strong Friends. Because on the Stay Woke podcast, we always talk about mental health and how important that is. I just thought that was key, and as well as the fact that he tied it in personally, and then he tied it in for all of us to feel it, of different artists, like Bennington from Linkin Park, those fans that are still kind of dealing with that loss, they can kind of tie it in and realize and take some positive out of it. Yeah, it is a tragedy that that they committed suicide, but at the same time, let's figure out some positives about it, and let's not let this happen to one of our friends, people that we think are strong, and even if they do that, that doesn't mean that they're not strong, as well. I think was a strong message as well. So
I like the whole idea of that song, and the awareness. I dealt with a lot of that growing up too, as well, with my family and my mom and things like that. So I definitely was feeling what he was going with that track. Definitely. Everybody relies on a strong friend and think they're gonna be strong 24/7, and they rely on them. But what about them? What about when they can't be strong?
exactly.
What about these? You know what I mean? What about they having an off day? Are they going through some issues? Or who's gonna be strong for them?
Exactly.
That's true.
That was very powerful. Everybody doesn't want to display their issues out on Front Street. So, but everybody does need somebody. We all need help. We all need somebody to talk to, somebody to vent, somebody to bounce things off of. So, just I think it's important that we all listen to each other a little bit more and try to help each other a little bit more, especially in regards to in regards to mental health. For me, like I said, before we in the beginning of this episode, this project really resonated with me because of all those facets that we just mentioned. But I think both of these projects should be listened to, are really good projects.
And don't forget about the track Stay Woke.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
That's yeah. That we can't. We had to mention that. Stay Woke podcast. That is a great track, and the message that it's trying to portray of being aware of your surroundings, being aware of what's going on, and not just taking that surface level stuff of this is what they say it is. No, do your own research, find out more, find out, is this the truth? Is this the truth for me? Because everybody has their own truth. Now understand, is that your truth, or is that everybody's truth or others' truth? And try to be understanding of others' truths as well. Because we all have different experiences, and you have to stay woke. But you also should check out Styles P's G-Host or Ghost album as well. It's a really nice project as well. Is there anything else you wanted to add about either of these two projects before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, lyrically, I think people should pay attention this time to Styles with the hunger. He's giving you the old style. He also giving you the mature, elevated styles too. When he's throwing in the spiritual, conscious part aspects of his lyricism. He's giving you that hunger, hardcore shit. But he also giving you some deep shit at the same time, and he combined the both. And it's just an L project. This is one of my favorite Styles P albums, man, for sure.
And that's the most interesting thing about it. Both of them are saying so much. Styles P is saying it in a from a different perspective, and like you said, it is from an elevated, more mature, but still talking that shit. You know what I'm saying? Still, it's elevated and mature, and then he's thought it through. But Styles is Styles, and we don't want that. We don't want that part of him to change. We do want people to mature. We do want people to grow and elevate. But you should still keep some a part of yourself, an essence of yourself, and that wasn't lost with this album for Styles P. And on the flip side, for Royce the 5'9", this was a very personal album, very introspective. Like I said, I can see for a lot of people why it will be hard for you to listen repeatedly over and over again in that manner because of some of the content. Especially if it's something that you've gone through or people that have gone through, it might be hard to kind of relive those moments over and over and over again by listening to it like that. So I can definitely understand that quality of it, but he's still saying things that are important and can help other people kind of I don't want to say self-therapy, but self-heal, kind of analyze their selves, because that's what he's in essence doing here. He's analyzing himself as well as his brothers and his family. And seeing how all that played a role in it. And I think it's important for people to do that at times, because you don't know the effect that you have on other people or the effect that other people have on you if you don't sit down and reflect on it and see how they're affecting you and why they're affecting you, as well as if they should be affecting you. So these are all things that are important that he kind of touches on in this album. Both, again, like I said, both of them you should get for very, very different reasons. And let us know what you think about them. Let us know, do you resonate with a Styles P album more than Booker Ryan, and vice versa, and why? Let us know if you agree with Trav, you agree with me, you disagree with us. Either way, just, conversate with us.
Give us your feedback, man. What I'm saying? We love doing these episodes. We love to hear from the people. Let us know if we broke it down right, if it's something that we didn't touch on that we would like us to touch on in the future with these projects, or just the way the track selection that resonated with us to resonate with you. Just hit us back, man. Give us your feedback.
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely reach Trav. I'll have his Instagram information in the description, so just click on that link and follow him. He's a great follow. He posts often and he responds. He comments. He interacts with you. So definitely follow him and interact with him. Definitely follow us, the Stay Woke Podcast, or the Sonic Breakdown on any of our platforms. And like we said, leave us comments, leave us reviews. Like I said earlier, we love 5-star reviews on iTunes. We'll take 4, but we love 5. So if you can give us the 5, we would appreciate that. And it does help, and it does it means a lot to us as well to get your feedback. So I want to say thank you again to Trav. For real, I do appreciate you doing these episodes with me. I think you provide an interesting perspective, giving that East Coast flair.
Thank you, man.
No problem.
I appreciate doing it.
No problem.
Appreciate building with you all the time.
And we'll definitely have Trav back. So this will not be the last time you hear from him. As Jalen and Jacoby always say, we're not done. So we'll be back.
Plenty more to go.
Exactly. We got plenty more to go. Always going to be more music to talk about. So I want to say thank you to all of our listeners and our fans and our followers out there. Thank you for listening to the Stay Woke Podcast. Follow us on YouTube and subscribe there as well. And you know our motto: live, listen to some great music, and above all, love more. And we're out.
Right.